Welcome back. My name is Trisha Jaktiani, and in this tutorial, I will introduce you to the index function, and we will see how it can be used with the match function to get maximum benefit. We have already learned the match function in the previous video on the VLOOKUP with match. Let's look at the index function. Index function returns the value which sits under a particular column and a row in the given range. When you use index with the match function, it can perform more complex lookups. Index match is actually considered as the replacement to VLOOKUP function. And why do we not use the VLOOKUP? Is because it can perform difficult lookups as well. For example, VLOOKUP function always looks up a value in the first column of the lookup range. But what if we want to look up a value in a column other than the first column? So for example, if I want to start a VLOOKUP and look for a name in this database, which is given at the top, I will use the your number because that is the common data. Select the whole table, and then after selecting the whole table, I'll put a comma. In the comma, when I have to enter the column index number, I will have to count for the column index number starting from the lookup value. To understand VLOOKUP, please go to the video on VLOOKUP, and then you can come back to understand the replacement of VLOOKUP. So yes, coming back, when we are looking at the column index number, I will have to give the column index number starting from the lookup value. But my name is at the next on the left hand side. So I cannot go backwards. It would have been helpful if you could provide a negative value for the third argument, which is your column index number. So if it was better, I could do -1, but VLOOKUP doesn't have such facility. So then what do we do? In that case, we can use index and match function together. So let's first understand the index function. In the index function, there are three arguments for the syntax. Your first argument is the array. Now, array is the table or the range from which you need the data or you want to derive the data. Next comes your row number. From that range, which row do you want to pick the data from? And the column number is the column number from which this data needs to be picked. So let's start and understand the array. When I want an array, because I'm looking for the your number as this table, I'm going to pick up the whole table that is given here. Now, as a rule of thumb, we should make it a point to always lock the range or the table where the syntax has the word array. This will ensure that your table or the range in the function does not change when you drag the formula down. So, whenever you see a word array in the syntax, after selecting that array, freeze it. Like even in VLOOKUP, you will see that there is a there is a table array. So as soon as you do a table array, freeze it. Except if you have your base data in the table format. Otherwise, you should always press an F4 to freeze it. After that, put a comma and enter the row number. Now, I will enter any row number to understand where it is going to pick the data from. So, if I give the row number as 3, it will look for the third row number in the table. So, my first row from the table, because I have selected this table from A2. So, my first row will be A2, second row will be A3, and the fourth row will be A4. So, it is going to start with the A4, which is this one, where it says same handsome. So, so that row it will pick up the data from. Now, I have to also give the column from which Excel should pick up the data. So, if I only say row, the row will be fourth, but there are 4 or 5 different things or data available in this row. I will also have to give index the column number from which it can pick up the data. Now, I want the name to be picked up. So, I will pick up the first column in this table. So, column which is the first column is the B column. Why? Because the table starts from B. So, I'll say 1. As soon as I close the bracket, it will look in the third column, which I'm looking at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, which is the third row, same handsome, and then first column, which is your B, and wherever the intersection is, my intersection is in same handsome, it will give me the result of same handsome. Now, this case, I have given the data manually to look for the data. Now, I have not really looked for, not anywhere have I given the your number and not picked up the clear data. I have just given you how does an index work. So if I want to use index for any other column or any other row, it will accordingly give me that number. So again, picking up the array, this time I'll take the fifth row and second column or say fifth column. So if I give fifth column, it will look for fifth row, fifth column, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's Megan. From this row, it will look for the row that I have given. So the row is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it will give me the pin code of that particular row. So 4527, which is this one. So fifth column and fifth row. So the intersection is in this part. So it is giving me the result as that one. So this is how your index function works.
Congratulations on completing the business dashboard using Excel course. Ready to elevate your career? Join our postgraduate certificate in data science and AI and gain exclusive benefits like a complimentary Python programming bootcamp, 7+ case studies, dedicated student support, and access to our job opportunities portal. Don't miss out on this chance to transform your career. Invest in yourself today and join our program. Click on the link in the description to enroll now and take the next step in your career journey.
Now we already know your match function returns the position of the text or a value from a given range, which we have already seen in the previous video. So I will try and replace this two things which are given here, number 5 and number 5, which is the row number and the column number, with a match function. Why would I do that? Is one reason is the match has to match this your number which is given here. So that match will look up for this number in the row, and then it will look for name in the column, and then accordingly the intersection will give me the result. So I'll start with an index again. In the index, I will again give the row array as this one. Like mentioned earlier, I will have to freeze it because it says array. In the row number, instead of entering manually, I'm going to put the match function. Now, I need to look for the row. The first thing that I have to look is the row. So the row is, what is sitting in the row is your number, because which row I will have to pick up the data from, I will have to start with the your number. So my lookup value will be your number, comma. Then I have to look for lookup array. Now lookup array means I'll have to go in the your number to see, because then it will be able to give me which row. So this is my first row, second row, third row, fourth row. So it will look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in all these columns. You remember last time also I mentioned whenever you're looking for a row number in the match function, you should give one column as your lookup array. But when you're looking for the column number in the match function, your lookup array should be a row. So here, when I'm doing this, you can see that I'm looking for a row. This is the row that I'm trying to find. In the match, I'm looking for C10 and then giving the row as my lookup array. Because it is an array word again, I will freeze it, comma. Now I have to give the match type, which is the 0. That's the exact match. Now this completes my match function. Because I completed the match function, I'm going to close the bracket. As soon as I complete the match function, your row number will be calculated by this match function. So now I need to calculate the next one after putting a comma is the column number. So the column number will be identified by looking for the next data which I have here. That's my name. So now I'll pick up the value that I need to find to give the column number. The value will be my name, where my name sits. So I will pick up name and look for name. Sorry, I'll have to enter the match first. In the lookup value, I'll use the lookup value as name, comma. Then I will put the row number or the row as my lookup array. Again, the lookup array, that's the reason I'm going to freeze it. And then after that, after the comma, I will put the 0, which is the exact match. So now I have completed giving the column number also. So the first match will identify the row number, second match will identify the column number. Once I have done and closed the bracket for the column number also, now I'll close the bracket for the index and press enter. Now you can see that Excel is automatically identifying the name even when I do not have to use the VLOOKUP, which is going backward. Here, even when the data is in the middle and your answer is, or the data that you're trying to derive is on the left hand side, index match can easily identify the data from here. So this is how your index match function work when it comes to the reverse order also. Now, again, there is another function that I can see, another example that I can see on this list is using a VLOOKUP reverse order, derive the sales number for the given name in the cell A17. So cell A17 has Sam. I need to identify the sales. I'm giving another example to see how does your index match function will work to give you the VLOOKUP in the reverse order. So index, again, like I mentioned, I am going to pick up the table from where I want to derive the data. So array will be my table. Now you will see that I need not do an F4 because, like last time I mentioned, if your database where you want to derive the data from is already converted into a table, you will not need to do an F4 or freeze the table, because even if you drag the data, it will automatically take that into the range. Next comes your row number. Like I said, we are going to use the match function to look for the position of the particular data in the row. So then, because I'm looking for the row number, the row number will be identified by using the name first. If I do sales, sales will identify the column because it is sitting in the column. So then I'll use the name as my first lookup value. The lookup array will be definitely where my column is. Because I'm looking for a row number, I will pick up the column as my data. Comma 0, close the bracket. This gives me the row number. Now comes the column number. In the column number, again, my lookup value is going to be sales, comma, and then the heading from where I need to pick up the data, comma 0. Again, you will see, because I had done a table for this database where from which I want to derive the data from, I did not put any F4 key anywhere in the data, even when there were arrays. So close the bracket, enter. We have, sorry, instead of putting match, I have put here column. So that's the reason it is giving you error. So yeah, so when I do this, you will see that it is showing me 1100. Now, if I change the name of the student to say John, it is giving me 1000, which is the sales that he has done. Or the name, I'm changing the name of the representative to Joe's. It will give me 1800 because Joe's has done the sales of 1800. So this is how your VLOOKUP in the reverse order can work when you're using it with the index and match function. Hope you found this insightful. Keep watching for more such videos. Thank you.